Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video, I'm going to be getting into the price of Bitcoin. I know that it's been a while since I've done this, but to be honest with you, the charts have been rather boring, which I had anticipated. I do still think that we're going to get one final major pullback before Bitcoin takes off to new all-time highs. If you've been watching my previous videos, like I mentioned, I was anticipating this time of year, somewhere between September, October, to being the buying opportunity. In today's video, I'm going to be reflecting back on the previous cycle and putting side by side the previous market cycle with Bitcoin's current market cycle to be able to make some predictions on what I believe is going to happen next. Don't forget that the truth of the matter is nobody really knows what's going to happen next. We're just all trying to make our best predictions. So I'm going to first do a micro perspective on Bitcoin, and then I'm going to zoom out, compare the previous market cycle to now. And what I'm going to be doing is basically taking like the weeks out from Bitcoin's all-time high of $20,000. And I'm going to be taking how many weeks out Bitcoin was when there was a perfect buying opportunity and comparing it to what we are currently seeing. This is always tells a very interesting story, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. We're also going to be going over just some marijuana stocks briefly, and also traditional markets to see if there's correlation. Like I mentioned many times in this on this particular channel, correlation tends to happen between traditional markets and Bitcoin. But is that currently still happening? Happening? It sounded like it was the wrong grammar, but you don't have to worry. My grammar is not perfect all the time. I mess up probably at least 10 to 15 times on every single video. But that is okay. No one is going to die over it. So the current price of Bitcoin is $26,706. Bitcoin had a pretty significant pullback yesterday. So this right here is a 7-day chart on Bitcoin. One theme, overwhelming theme on this channel is I always talk about on the 7-day chart, these moving averages. Okay, so I'm talking about the thick ones here on the chart. So there is the 12-day, which is the red one. Okay, and the green one is a 5 if you want to add it to your particular chart. Okay, and so what tends to happen if you go back to the very beginning of Bitcoin and you basically sold anytime that the green crossed below the red in this range, and you bought anytime the green crossed over, and you basically, that was your only trading strategy, you would have done really rather well in Bitcoin, one. And number two, the best part is you wouldn't have had to spend very much time watching the charts, which the whole goal is to just go out there, live your life, and not be glued and obsessed with the charts all day. And so basically Bitcoin looked on the 7-day chart like it was going to make that crossover, but we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. We're seeing Bitcoin basically trapped here in between these DMAs. There's a 50, a 50, 100, and a 200 DMA. We're seeing Bitcoin kind of trapped right there in that range. So looked like the green is going to cross over the red, but there's not a ton of certainty on the 7-day chart. I would definitely be waiting this out. This is here the daily chart on Bitcoin. So being held up here by this DMA, we had a red 2 yesterday trading below the red 1. Let's see if that will hold. If not, let's see if Bitcoin can hold the low over here, which is 25,998. So I wouldn't be excited buying into this daily chart. This is the 12-hour chart here. So what we're seeing, if you want to add this to your chart, like I said, a 50, 100, and a 200 DMA, and you can see here the red is the 50, the yellow is 100, and the green is a 200. Just want to reference those if you guys want to add them to your chart. So you're seeing here that Bitcoin is being held up by that particular DMA on the 12-hour chart. I would not be super excited buying into Bitcoin here. I would like to see it bounce a little bit harder off of that, but it's just kind of laying low in that particular range. This is a 4-hour chart, which does not look too promising. As you can see here across all these time frames, right, that 50 DMA, Bitcoin is being held up by it. But what will happen if it will break it? We shall see. As you could see over here, the last time Bitcoin broke below that 50 DMA, it wasn't too good. So Bitcoin was sitting at about $30,000, and then it broke down to the $25,000 range. The last time that happened was up here. So pretty critical that Bitcoin stays above that, but I don't really think that's going to be the case. I'm kind of short-term bearish at the moment. I'm not really particularly fond of how these charts are looking. I don't like this hourly as well. It has very little conviction, but once again, also being held up by that 50 DMA. Is able to hold it up here. But let's see if it can do it again. Let's take a look here at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart also looking rather weak. So, like I've also mentioned in many of my previous videos, Ethereum typically leads the way. It's actually a really good reference point. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked at the Ethereum chart in what feels like months, but I really should be. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Ooh, okay. So in my opinion, the weekly chart on Ethereum looks much weaker than the weekly chart on Bitcoin. So I would say that this right here is telling me there's going to be more downside because Ethereum tends to frequently lead the way. So in this particular case, Ethereum has already broken below the 50 DMA on the 7-day chart. Let's take a look. It's broken below it. Oh my gosh. It's made a lower low. I looked at this, and to be honest with you, my first thought is definitely we will see more blood and more pain to the downside. By just particularly looking at the Ethereum chart, I'm really glad that I decided to do a deep dive on it because, like I said, Ethereum tends to lead the way in most cases. The Ethereum chart looks really, really bad, okay? The Bitcoin chart, in my opinion, looks like a little bit of uncertainty, leaning bearish. I look at this Ethereum chart, and it's just bearish across the board. 4-hour does not look good. The 1-hour does not look good. The 30-minute, absolutely not. There is nothing here that would excite me about. I would not be touching Ethereum with a 10-inch pole. We have gold at 1873. We have Coinbase stock at 75.42. Nvidia at 471.44. Let's see, what else do we have? We have XRP at 47 cents. Really interesting looking back at that positive Ethereum, excuse me, a positive XRP news that took it just really, really high. But obviously we saw it come crashing back to where it was. So this was the positive news that took XRP from 46 cents up to 94 cents. And now we're back where we started. So people probably thought that was the beginning of the bull market. Nope, not even close. So back over to Bitcoin. Let's look here at the daily chart. I still have a buy order set just below 20,000, all the way up to about 22,000. I do think that Bitcoin, we're gonna get a nice pullback. I do believe so. I would love to see just under 20,000. I would love to see 13. I would love, like I said, I still think that people need to be super scared out of their mind one more time. People need to just be like so sick to their stomach with how low Bitcoin has gone one more time. 26,000, I think, is still pretty good of a price, and that people feel good about it, that Bitcoin will continue to rise from here. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna very briefly go over traditional markets, and then I'm gonna look a blast from the past, the previous market cycle, and we're gonna go ahead and check that out. So very quickly, Tesla at 263. Let's see, Tesla definitely is looking a heck of a lot better than any of those Bitcoin or Ethereum charts. Let's take a look here at the majors. We have SPY at 435. This right here is a daily chart. We're seeing obviously some pullback being held up by that particular DMA. Let's see, this is the daily chart. Basically has made a higher high, but seeing resistance here at the 50 DMA. Let's take a quick look. So correlation between, I mean, there's still some correlation, but not nearly as much as there used to be when it came to SPY and Bitcoin. So like this is a daily here on SPY, and let's go ahead and pull up the double screen here. We'll put Bitcoin on the bottom, and let's take a look. Nope, I wanted that to be there. SPY. Okay. So bottom we have SPY daily. Wait, yes. The top we have Bitcoin daily. The bottom we have SPY daily. So not as much correlation as you can see here on the daily chart. SPY is in a 4 to 5 day upward trend, where Bitcoin is doing the opposite, a 4 to 5 day downtrend. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is what I find to be just like the most interesting, is comparing the previous market cycle to the current. So we're going to take a look at the 7-day chart on Bitcoin. We are going to see where we are here. How many weeks? So as you can see, currently we are 102 weeks from Bitcoin's all-time high of $69,000. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here at 100. Did I say 102 or 103? I said 102. So let's go and take a look back. So this right here was 102 weeks out after the Bitcoin's all-time high of $20,000. Okay, so as you can see here, an amazing buying opportunity. And so this right here is COVID. So it's kind of hard to consider that in the equation, because that is obviously an outlier. So I particularly wouldn't like to. I am anticipating the buying opportunity on Bitcoin to be coming very, very soon, like in the next month. I do think that we need to have the buy order set, because the time is very, very, very soon of when I believe the last kind of buying opportunity before this happens, okay? Why do I say that? I say that because I would almost like to cross off this here in the market. So, and it was, although it doesn't look like much on the market, this right here was buying Bitcoin in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. This right here is buying Bitcoin in like the $3,000 to $4,000 range. So I would kind of like to X that out from the market. And as you can see here, there is this zone of buying opportunity that occurred before Bitcoin just took off, okay? And so that is what I am seeing there. I think that the next month, the probably low will come in, but you'll still have an opportunity chop-wise to get in at a decent price. Let's go ahead and check out what... So we are currently October 12th. I think it's also interesting to take a look here at the same time of year. So October, in this range, you can see decent buying opportunity on Bitcoin. Obviously, like I said, this was the best buying opportunity, but will we see a black swan event like that? Not really likely. So this is October, although the Bitcoin peak didn't happen in the same month. So that's why I always take a look here at how many bars out. But basically in that range here, you could even say that we are kind of here, I would say, to where Bitcoin will have a bit of a pullback in this range. So percentage wise, let's compare it percentage. Okay, approximately, let's say like a 20 to 25% pullback. Where would that put us? I could easily see a 25% pullback from where we are now. Ooh, isn't that interesting? So that would put us at about 20,000. And you could see this point down here is at about 18. So I would say a 25 to 30% pullback is likely. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm anticipating. That would be my best prediction. I think it's likely to happen in the next 30 to 60 days, but probably between now and the end of the year. Because what typically happens with Bitcoin, we know about the halvening, and then Bitcoin typically has an all-time high like 9 to 12 months after that. So that would be my best guess. But like I said, no one really knows what's going to happen. You have to make your own decisions and take your own responsibility for all decisions that you make, and this is never financial advice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.